Hello everyone, Rami, Assistant Professor of CSC Department from Rovini College of Engineering and Technology, subject code CS3501, Compiler Design, Unit 5, Topic Global Data Flow Analysis. Global data flow analysis. Data flow information can be collected by setting up and solving systems of equations that relate information at various points in a program. A typical equation has the form out of S is equal to gen of S union in of S minus kill of S. The information at the end of a statement is either generated within the statement or enters at the beginning and is not killed as control flows through the statement. Such equations are called data flow equations. The details of how data flow equations are set up and solved depend on three factors. The notations of generating and killing depend on the desired information that is on the data flow analysis problem to be solved. Moreover, for some problems, instead of proceeding algorithm with the flow of control and defining out of S in terms of in of S, we need to proceed backwards and define in of S in terms of out of S. Since data flows along control path, data flow analysis is affected by the control structures in a program. In fact, when we write out of S, we explicitly assume that there is a unique end point where control leaves the statement. There are subtleties that go along with such statements as procedure calls, assignment through pointer variables, even assignments to array variables. Points and path. Within a basic block, we talk of the point between two adjacent statements as well as the point before the first statement and after the last. This block P1 has 4 points, one before any of the statement and one after each of the statement. This is the example diagram for your points and path. Now let us take a global view and consider all the points in all the blocks. A path from P1 to Pn is a sequence of points P1, P2, dot or Pn, such that for each one between 1 and n minus 1, either Pi is the point immediately preceding a statement and Pi plus 1 is the point immediately following that statement in the same block, or Pi is the end of some block and Pi plus 1 is the beginning of a successor block. Reaching definition. A definition of a variable x is a statement that assigns or may assign a value to x. The most common forms of definition are assignments to x and statements that read a value from an input-output device and store it in x. This statement certainly define a value for x and they are referred to as unambiguous definition of x. There are certain other kinds of statements that may define a value for x. They are called ambiguous definitions. The most useful forms of ambiguous definition or X are a call of a procedure with X as a parameter or a procedure that can access X. Because X is in the scope of the procedure, we also have to consider the possibility of aliasing where X is not in the scope of the procedure but X has been identified with another variable that is passed as a parameter or is in the scope. An assignment through a pointer that could refer to x, for example, the assignment asterisk q equal to y is a definition of x if it is possible that q points to x. Representation of sets. Sets of definitions such as gen of s and kill of x can be represented compactly using bit vectors. We assign a number to each definition of interest in the flow graph. Then the bit vector representing a set of definitions will have one in positions I if and only if the definition numbered I is in the set. A bit vector representation for sets also allows set operations to be implemented efficiently. The union and intersection of two sets can be implemented by logical or and logical and respectively. Basic operations is most system-oriented programming languages. The difference A minus B of sets A and B can be implemented by taking the complement of B and then using logical and to compute A cap and B. Thank you.